Well, and so the theory behind it is, a lot of people are like, reviews matter, but they aren't like the number one thing. But I think as you start to stack those reviews, and if someone comes across a very cool, unique property that has one 5-star review that's new versus one that has 4.9 stars and it's got 800 reviews,
Yep.
psychologically, I think in their mind, they're like, it's proven itself essentially, right? Like
Yep.
other people have stayed here and reviewed it, and it's crushing it versus not as many people are willing to take the risk on, okay, well, they got one 5-star reviewed. Was it their friend that reviewed? I think people start to understand now that friends and family may go out and review their properties, but it's just that psychological
Yeah.
shift of if it has more reviews, there's credibility to it. All right, welcome back to another edition of the Hideaway Show Behind the Curtain. I'm here with Mike. We're not power washing. We're not cutting down trees. We're in front of the computer. We're in front of the mic again. Buddy, how's it going?
It's good, man. I had a company that I worked with when I was in marketing buy me a gift 4 years after I said this. But one day they said something, like I said something, and they're like, "That's the smartest thing I ever heard." And I was like, "Oh, drop the mic." And I like, get it? Because my name's Mike. And it was a really dumb, cheesy dad joke. And they remembered it for 4 years. And they got me a bobblehead of myself with a hat, the hat that I wore, the shirts that I wear. And it was
That's incredible.
embarrassing how predictable it was. But they were like, "I wish that it wasn't made out of clay because I really wanted you to be able to drop the mic."
That's awesome.
I was like, take a dad joke too far, man. There we are.
I said, who would have thought? And that was
Yep.
well before you were a dad too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
It's
just
just been in there waiting.
those corny ass jokes you've been waiting, right?
Poor Courtney.
Dude. And sometimes I'll drop like a joke. It's like I've been just like brewing on it all day. I'm just like, oh, dude, I gotta tell someone. So naturally, the first person I tell is my wife, and I think I'm batting like I don't like my success rate is like 1 in 15, 1 in 16 ish. I'm assuming because every time I mention it to her, I normally just get an eye roll and she'll just be like, "Oh," just like not even funny at all. And I'm like in my head, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Like that's
but
literally the funniest thing that anybody's ever heard. I promise.
yeah. But she'll bust out laughing if she sees me miss a step. I don't understand why. If I miss a step going down like stairs on carpet and I just down, it's
Dude, there's something about a full grown man falling that like women love. I'm not kidding. I stepped off of a curb once and it was like out of a cartoon. I stepped out of my hat. Like it fell so fast that my hat stayed in place. I'm not kidding. And I had to pick her up off the ground from laughing. It's like humiliating me. The fall did not humiliate me at all. Her laughing humiliated me. And I had to pick her up off the ground and be like, "We're getting out of this like public place in this public parking lot and leaving because this is so embarrassing." She's like, "That's the funniest thing I've ever seen." And I was like, "That's sad."
apparently all women love when men fall. So
Yeah.
I mean, my worst was I was going down to our first home. We was going down the stairs and it was a shag carpet, and I think I was halfway down. I had a crock pot of chili. It was the winter.
Oh,
Yeah, you know where this is going.
yeah.
And I missed the step. Well, I go to slide, and to catch myself, I naturally went forward. I put the crock pot into the drywall. Like I didn't fall,
That's incredible.
but did have to fix the drywall. So
That's incredible.
some could say that's where my real estate journey all began. Was me
Yes.
falling down the stairs and
There you go.
fixing the hole in the drywall from the crock pot. Also had to fix the railing because another time I fell down those same set of stairs. Naturally, I grabbed the railing and I pulled the railing out of the
Oh
wall.
my gosh, dude.
Note to
That's
self:
pretty hilarious.
don't go downstairs with Jordan.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not here to talk about me falling downstairs, although that would be. We could just pull up videos of me falling down the stairs. I think this podcast would go to the moon.
I was
man.
gonna say, talk about a viral video.
No, we're talking about something else that's a little, I'll say, fun. I don't even know if it's imaginary nonetheless, but it's 5 things that we would add to every STR if budget wasn't a limit. You know, as if money. Let's okay, do I even say this? I'm gonna say it. It doesn't matter. Let's put our woman brains on, or my wife brain on here. Money does not exist. We can spend whatever we want, Mike, on these properties. and there's no budget involved.
Are you actually able to get yourself there? Because I'm like, I don't understand. Just immediately, I'm like, I'm not quite sure I'm getting it. Like, what's our budget? They're like, no budget. I'm like, not sure I get it.
I feel like I'm sweating right now. I'm nervous that I said that, because I feel like if we have a bunch of females listening to our podcast, that are just going to come after me for that. So I apologize. I didn't mean anything bad by it. It was more of a joke than anything. But we are going to be talking, in all seriousness, about 5 things that we would add to every STR if budget wasn't a limit. So with that being said, I'm going to go off with number 1. We'll kind of alternate through the 5 here.
Cool.
The first one is a uniquely implemented water amenity or feature. And we said amenity or feature because I think there's a lot you can do with it. But our example that we've done has been the hot tub in the cliff at the Naturalist and on the boulder at the Stoic. Those 2 amenities implemented in that fashion.
We get like 15% increase in revenue on that.
Right. Exactly. And paid back in less than a year. Like that part is
dude, we did a 200% jump in a month.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about numbers yesterday with Rockhaven, and it was like, what are our numbers at for June? It's like, oh, we're beating our projections by like $10,000. And it's just like, and I know I texted you last night, and it's like, dude, we got another reservation, and we probably need to continue to bump prices up. Yeah, we were talking right before we hopped on here. It's like, you're almost nervous. It's like, how high do we go?
I was putting them in like $10, like $10 a day. I just, every time we kept getting higher occupancy, I just bump it up $10. And now I'm like, maybe $6, maybe like $4. Like,
right.
I don't know. It seems like big jumps, man. These numbers are higher than I expected, but we're at 100. The next 7 and next 30 are 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we shouldn't ever have 100%.
Right. But, and it's fantastic. But I think, we've always talked about unique amenities, and for whatever reason, everyone always says like adding a hot tub gives you a natural boost nonetheless. But if you do it in a unique fashion, whether that be in a cliff or whether that be implemented in the deck in a unique fashion, or, a natural water feature like a waterfall, right? If you ran a unique waterfall down a hill, maybe under a putt-putt course, underneath a cabin. I know I've seen a couple
foreshadowing.
Yeah. Just this came top of mind, just random.
I never thought about this one before. Jeez.
But I have seen another property. I think it's Green Creek Shipyards. They have a water feature that they have that swinging bed that's at the Monoslope in Georgia. Yep. They have.
Can we just call that Mike's Monoslope? It's not mine, but it's the one I pull up all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, too much.
But I think those water features done in a unique fashion, I think, some of them are probably less expensive than others. But if we had unlimited funds, I don't even want to know. I guess if it was on a well, our water bill wouldn't be too high, but we'd be running water left and right. We'd have waterfalls, we'd have ponds, we'd have pools, we'd have hot tubs, all of that. And for whatever reason, I think people love it.
I think there's a perceived quality to water features, or it's like it just tastes like water's a natural destroyer, I guess. Like look at the Grand Canyon. And I think that because of that, you have to really intentionally put those things together to keep it, good and usable and whatever, and clean. So I think there's just like this natural quality to it that people just love. And it's also something that is, someone told me once that when you go to another country, like one of the most biggest showy, what are the words I'm looking for? Like the ways to be flashy or showy is just to wear a watch. They're like watches are completely unnecessary and they're just fashion statements and they're typically like status symbols of some sort. I think water features at houses are almost the same, right? Where it's just like, we do not need a water feature ever, but it's like you put this in because you do want to create that experience for the guests and you want to give them specifically something that they're not going to have at their house. So,
yeah, exactly. And what I just realized too, in our list of 5 here,
the next one is the same.
What is
I was just going to go to number 3 and then let you pick number 2 later.
Let's hit on 2 because I've always wanted one, but I'll let you rattle it off here.
No, I think like kind of going from yours to this one is the number 2 here that we've got is a container pool or outdoor pool. And so obviously a water feature of some sort, but I think you also touched on like the water elements that could be different than a hot tub or a swimming pool, right? The most common that I know of are hot tub or swimming pool, cold plunge coming in with a close third. But there's water slides. There's, like you said, like or not ponds up. Well, a pond would be one, but little creek feature, right? Like a designed and intentional creek that you keep pumping, waterfalls, things like that. So,
Yep.
but a container pool or outdoor pool of any sorts, my recommendation would definitely be some sort of container pool. I think there's a lot of structural integrity that you get with the containers to put things like glass bottoms or glass sides. So how you implement it, especially in places like the gorge, you could like tuck it into the side of the hill, and then you could put a glass side on it and a deck on the other side and things like that. So the biggest thing is the way that you implement it, right? I've seen a lot of container pools that I've looked at in the past. I'm like, oh, it's cool. It's a shipping container in the middle of your yard and it has a deck built around it, which looks fantastic. It's very expensive, hard to maintain, not to be undersold whatsoever. However, the one that comes to my mind is the way that Chase Charifa, yeah, how to say his last name. Chase, one of the coolest guys I know, way more advanced than me. He put one next to his A-frame, and that one's where, Oklahoma?
That one I think is actually
Arkansas.
in Arkansas. Yeah.
Arkansas, okay. He put one in, and it's just second to none. Like, he's got the house positioned perfectly, he's got the view, and then he's got a deck that goes straight off the front porch of the house, and then he sunk the container into the end of the deck. And from a cost perspective, like, I think that's a fantastic idea. You don't have to build another deck. There's not another entrance, but also from the aesthetics and looking at it, like, you've got the diagonal lines of the A-frame, you've got the container and the square lines of that. Like, it just looks really, really good. It's really well implemented. And I think it's something that a lot of people are scared to do because it is a lot of cost and a lot of upkeep. But also, if you're trying to create an experience for somebody to go enjoy in the summer and they want something different than what they have at their house, he nailed it. That's the way to do it right there.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Well, and remember, Mike, we don't have a budget here, so we can hire
two container pools,
to stack the container pools.
Yeah.
We'll have like 10 pool boys or cleaners out there taking care of that thing.
You ever seen the when you go to a restaurant, they have the 3 sinks? It's like the wash, rinse, and sanitize. Right. I want to, since we're thinking about this from the lens of no budget here, I don't want a hot tub or a cold plunge. I want a hot pool, a regular swimming pool, and a cold pool. So instead of cold plunging, I'm going to cold underwater dive across that pool and freeze my little self off and then go back into the hot pool, sauna-ish in the pool, and then go for a swim, right? No budget.
Have you seen the meme or the reel where it's like, welcome to the land of make-believe or something like that? That's what I'm thinking about right now.
I have not, but I'm going to start bringing that into conversations in my household.
I'm good. I got to send it to you, dude.
Just to be like, I didn't know that we were in the land of make-believe.
It is so relatable. Oh gosh. Sorry, it's a complete side note, but I agree. Container pools, I was wanting to add one at Cooper Pines for the longest time. My biggest challenge was just like, how do I go about funding this? I think there are ways to do it, but it also is from a perspective of an ROI are there better properties where I could put that container pool in versus at Cooper Pines? Could I do something maybe at a lower scale? And then if we build a Cooper Pines Volume 2 on, at a bigger level, then maybe that, presents itself as an opportunity to do a container pool. But nonetheless, container pool or outdoor pool would be a lot of fun. I think you can actually, someone mentioned this, there's an app that you can manage the controls of the pool itself from like your phone.
There is that, and there's also an app to rent your pool separate of your Airbnb.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Another revenue stream. So cool. I'm going to go with number 3 because I selfishly want one in my house. I would love to have one on Airbnb. I'm going to have one in my house eventually, but a premium golf simulator. I put /theater room because I've seen a couple of these models where it's a nice golf simulator, but then on the backside it tiers up theater seats. Oh, cool. So you can essentially use the space for 2 purposes. You can use it as a golf simulator, but if someone's like, I don't care to golf, or I can't swing a golf club to save my life, it turns itself into a theater room. And I think you could.
I was thinking more like it's a theater room for friends that you don't like. And then I imagined it having like racquetball siding on it and you just in the back, like whacking a golf ball 4 feet away. Just hope for the best. Hope it's a good movie.
No. It's more of like a 2-in-1, and I think it would do well. I've seen a lot of people are starting to add these golf simulators in, which honestly, I think if you did a full blown room of a golf simulator, I think it gets a little bit pricey. I was fully expecting these simulators to be a bare minimum of like $5,000. I think I saw some on there like for like the lower end ones, but like $700.
Yeah, some of them are pretty affordable.
Right.
And I think you can get them used too, because a lot of people get them and then their kids grow up a little and they don't use them anymore. So I've heard you can get them used. I don't know if you'd want to do that, but
yeah. It'd be, I would love to add one. I feel like a lot of people are starting to add those. It's almost like the pickleball court of Airbnbs now. People are loving they're loving the golf simulator rooms. And if you do that with a theater room, deck it out, full leather chairs. Yep. I'm a sucker for movie theater popcorn, so we'd have a movie theater popcorn machine on both sides.
Yeah,
it would.
I'm in for that. I'll be there.
It would be killer.
The one thing to note too, like one of the things that you said is like things are getting popular, right? And I think there's two approaches to that people should recognize at this point in these conversations. Is firstly, if you're in a market, right? Hypothetically, Joshua Tree, Pocket Hills is getting there. I'd say Blue Ridge is there, where they've got all these amenities, they got everything there, right? There's you can challenge yourself and say, hey, you know what? Let's be better. Let's come up with something new. People are coming up with unique ideas all the time. Sometimes that's easy for people. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes if you're less creative and more data oriented, right? What you can do is steal from those markets and steal from the good ones and find a market that it doesn't have any of those things. Right. And focus more on the data of like, how am I going to get people in and what can I pull from this market over to this market to really excel there? And I think that's something, not that we're not creative, but I think that's something that we've done well is we found a market that does not have any of these things. Right. I think there's one pickleball court in our entire market and it's at a campground. So it's really not there yet. And while it will be there one day, like it'll be our job to figure out when to, advance, upgrade or sell those things to other people. I think there's going to be plenty of buyers to do that. So
I was looking at the Joshua bunch of Airbnbs in Joshua Tree today, more so coming up with my idea for would you book it. Spoiler, it's not a property in Joshua Tree. It's not. But those properties are like, you look at some of those places, man, it's like they are immaculate. But everyone that says, they've invested there, it's totally saturated. They can't. It's tough to squeeze money out of those properties because, that's the bar is so high for what your property has to be from a build, design, and amenity perspective. Very similar to Scottsdale is the same way. It's a bunch of cool properties out there. Don't get me wrong. Like I look at them and I would love to have one, but it's like,
I know someone who's got one for sale if you want.
Man, I think I'm going to stick in the Gorge for now. Gorge is
treating us. I can call Rob and let him know that you're interested in this.
Rob, yeah. He just bought a micro resort down in Texas.
Yeah, he did. Hey, you keep leading the way, Rob. We'll be all right beside you. I'm excited for it. So, all right, we got number 4 here: a temperature-controlled pickleball court. Money being no issue forever because you'll have to heat and cool this thing. But no, money being no issue. If you've got something that people can use year round, I think that'd be awesome. When my mind goes to this, like I further it with like a glass wall, right? Similar to what you're thinking of the container pool. But it's like, if you've got a way to be inside, but pretend like you're outside and enjoy a day where it's rainy, enjoy a day where it's snowy, enjoy a day where it's freezing cold or smoking hot, like it is today. It's like 90 some degrees out here, but you can go in there and actually like play pickleball, enjoy time with your family. I think that not only it becomes a unique amenity, but I think also it creates this like usability of your space where when you're on vacation, there's a lot of people that call us and they're like, what do you do when it rains? Right? Because everything is hiking or going out to eat and it's outdoor seating type stuff. So if you've got that, it's like, oh, you saved our vacation. We were able to go create core memories and have conversations while doing something we love in this environment. Like there's a lot of utility to that. And if you put temperature controlled pickleball court in the headline or top line of your listing description, Man, I don't even care what your place looks like. You put a tent out there and temperature controlled pickleball court, you'll rent that thing.
Dude, I got the perfect vision for this. You ready?
Tell me.
No one steal this idea, okay? If you do,
Stop,
I will hunt.
I'm gonna steal it.
I will hunt you down if anyone steals this idea. Okay?
All right, Liam, come on.
I will find you. I'm thinking it's gonna be a pole barn, right? Almost like a barn dominium. You had the
like
pickleball court on the inside.
Yeah,
exactly.
I couldn't help myself. Go ahead.
Inside joke from someone we know. But on the side of the pickleball court, I'm thinking it's either 2 or 3, depending on the size, glass garage doors that roll up. So like that whole area just opens up. And then within there, you have like a fully loaded like outdoor kitchen space, outdoor speaker system. So it's a whole setup, right? To where that pickleball court's there. And just imagine if you had a view where those glass windows opened.
Yep.
Could be incredible.
Yeah. I don't know why. I was like, I want to build a skating rink that does that. Not even a charge. I just want to have a concrete pad with some burns on it that all the locals can come with their rollerblades and skate on.
Could you imagine? Do people even like roller skate anymore? Is that still a thing?
They skateboard. I know that there's a skate park at Blue Ridge. It's like actually where my mind went. It was like there. I was like, that'd be super rad. You were like on a cliff overlooking this beautiful view. I used to think I was going to be a skateboarder back in the day. Yeah. I skated once. I did like a little ollie, and then I was like, this almost killed me. I'm gonna be done.
Yeah, I tried to grind on a rail with rollerblades and got my foot caught in a bar and sprained my ankle terribly.
Oh, so, gosh, dude.
Yeah, so that was the end of my my journey. Hence why I'm here as a real estate investor and host of this amazing podcast.
Safely in a chair. All right, so we got number 5. That is all yours.
Yes, number 5, and I think this is one. Everyone talks about design and furniture, decor, and accessories that you put in your cabins. But what I would say with this is the boldest, most unique design. That's not, turning it into a circus house or a Barbie house or anything like that, but something that's just like when people, everything they touch, everything they see, everything they interact with is the highest quality. It's surreal. They're like, this is nicer, kitchen appliances than my house. The dishes are 10 times nicer than anything I would buy. The mattress is like, I want to put it on my shoulder and bring it home with me type of thing, right? I think a lot of people recognize that design and furniture and accessories within houses do make a difference. What we were talking about it last week is there's a lot of nice properties in the Gorge, killer outdoor spaces. You're looking at the photos like, this is a incredible cabin. And then you go to the interior photos and it's like, did they forget about the inside? Did they just like, they thought they did a good enough job on the outside? They're just like, the inside's good enough.
Their performa was all construction and they forgot furniture and design budget. And you're like, we'll just swing by Walmart on the way, grab a bunch of stuff.
And as you're starting to see all these properties popping up on social and the top performers across Airbnb and just across the industry in general, design is one of those things that if you can do it in the right way, and it does cost, right? I mean, you got anywhere from on the low end sometimes of like $16 upwards to $20 to $22 per square foot of furniture, depending on how nice you could go. It starts to get a little bit pricey, but I'll say this, I think the ROI on it is tremendous. I think a lot of people get nervous when they are like, oh gosh, I gotta spend $20,000 or $25,000 on furniture and design. Sure, if you do that and don't, photograph it or show that in your listing, you're not going to get any ROI on it, right? Yeah. People aren't going to realize it's there. But if we had no budget, dude.
Yeah, if there's no budget, I also think though that like that's one of those things that like you might not see the returns on that on day one. You're going to get good reservations. Don't get me wrong. You can see in photos if something's nice or something's not. What you're going to start to see that pick up on is with reviews. Right. Yes. As people are like, oh my gosh, the couch. Oh my gosh, the bed. Oh my gosh, I laid on the rug and it was like I was in a cloud. Right. And it's like you start to see those things and everyone reads the reviews. I don't, but it's like we get so many people that are like, hey, I read this review and I'll go look for it. And I'm like, that's on page 8. Like,
Right.
how did you get that far? You know, like I don't understand it, but I know that it happens. And that being said, if all your reviews are, I wish I had this in my house, that's a really good thing to hear over and over and over again.
Well, and I don't know if it was you that mentioned it or someone else. Someone else mentioned it. They said, think of it if you're going to buy something on Amazon, right? You have two products. They're the exact same product, but one has one 5-star review. 5 stars, though. It's got its 5-star review. The other has 250 reviews at 4.6 stars.
Dude, I've even seen them where it's like there's one or two on one and there's like 11,000 on another. And I'm like, goodness gracious, 11,000 people. Like,
But
don't get me wrong, there's ads and things that they can get it boosted and whatnot, but people still have to review it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's insane.
Well, and so the theory behind it is, a lot of people are like, reviews matter, but they aren't like the number one thing. But I think as you start to stack those reviews, and if someone comes across a very cool, unique property that has one 5-star review that's new versus one that has 4.9 stars and it's got 800 reviews, psychologically, I think in their mind, they're like, it's proven itself, essentially, right? Like other people have stayed here and reviewed it, and it's crushing it versus not as many people are willing to take the risk on, okay, well, they got one 5-star reviewed. Was it their friend that reviewed? I think people start to understand now that friends and family may go out and review their properties, but it's just that psychological shift of if it has more reviews, there's credibility to it.
Yep. 100%.
So, but anyway, so going back through the list of 5 things that we would add to every STR if budget wasn't a limit, the pipe dream, which just money will maybe one day money won't be an issue, but the unique implemented water feature, the container pool, golf simulator and theater room, temperature controlled pickleball court with those glass garage doors on the garage dominium, and the outdoor kitchen, and finally rounding it all out is the most bold, unique, highest quality furniture, design, accessories, and decor within your property. Those 5 right there. Just take your property to the moon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't even need like a crazy design place. Just put those things at it. So that's actually true. One of our top grossing cabins. This is actually a good tidbit to end this with, right? One of our top grossing rentals right now is our smallest, 420 square feet. We have a 6.6 that's almost 3,000 square feet. A little bit small for a 6.6, but 6.6, it's almost 3,000 square feet. That is doing 11,000 this month. And we have a 2.1 that's 420 square feet that's doing over 9,600, almost 10,000. And like this, just from the cost to build those places, is just absolutely astonishing, the difference in that. That being said, neither of them are wildly unique in the house design, the house build, the structure of the unit itself, right? They both have big windows. They both have good views. That being said, the way that we've implemented those amenities put the 2.1 in competition with the 6.6, which is just unheard of. But it also proves that like when you do it right, and we were lucky to trial and error up to our point of getting this one right, right? That it really pays for itself. So
yeah, it's absolutely tremendous. Hey guys, real quick, just want to jump in here and say, if this show has been sparking ideas and helping you level up your short-term rental game, we would be so grateful if you drop us a 5-star review. It helps us and this show reach even more people who want to build wealth through unique, unforgettable stays, just like you. So thanks for being a listener. Now, back to the show.
That being said, this is my new favorite section of our podcast, especially since you keep it a secret. But I think I'm going to blow your mind this time, so I'm excited to see what you have to see.
I think I might be up there with you.
You said that. You were like, you're never going to believe it. And I was like, I got to find a good one.
I bet now, I really hope you like. I didn't want to hype it up too much because you're probably gonna see it now. You're gonna be like, dude, this is lame as all get out. But okay, who wants to go first?
I think I went first last time. Why don't you go first?
Okay, I will go first. Let me pull this up. All right. Okay. So the would you book it section. Reminder, this section, we look at these different properties or components of a property from the lens of would you book it as a guest, and then also would you host it as a host? Would you own this property? Yes or
Yep.
no? Why or why not? So
Yep.
mine is a mansion in New Orleans, Louisiana. You're probably like, oh, dude, I know exactly where he's going with this.
I don't.
But just wait. You really don't. So I'm going to share my screen.
What's that guy's name? Billy Mays or whatever. But wait, there's more.
Billy Mays here.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Can you see my screen?
Oh, I see it.
So we got the Parks Bowman Mansion, the haunted bedroom.
Cool.
4.92 stars.
600 reviews.
605 reviews.
Wait, it is a mansion, but it's the haunted bedroom in the mansion because I see one queen bed.
Yeah, so they have 3 rooms in the house. One
Okay.
is haunted, the other 2 supposedly are not.
Okay.
So as I'm going through this, voted among the top 10 haunted Airbnb locations by BuzzFeed. And they even, as you scroll down through here, right here, there are 3 rooms available. This listing is for the haunted bedroom. Don't worry, our ghost, a young girl in a yellow dress from the 1890s, is very shy. You probably won't see her, although some people swear she exists. If you prefer, please check out our other listings, the Red Room or the library. So this is a haunted bedroom. And dude, it's creepy. It's creepy as all get out. You got this little kid here.
Yeah.
You got this chest. I don't know what's going on with this. Like this right here. Like,
Yeah. No, thank
I'm
you.
thinking the movie The Ring. Someone's coming out of that TV if
Yeah.
I'm staying at that place.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you. So, I mean, it is a crazy place. I mean, look at this stuff, dude. Like,
It's in New Orleans. Actually, there's a
Yeah.
bed and breakfast I stayed at that had like an entryway that way.
oh, dude,
That
it's
looks like
here's one
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
Full transparency. I mean, some of this stuff, like this right here.
Oh, dude.
If I
No.
see that while I'm trying to enjoy some peace and quiet in the bathroom, and I have that thing looking at
Nope.
me,
Nope.
oh, dude.
Nope.
So, I'm curious on your perspective as a
Nope.
guest.
Nope. Nope. Not a chance. Not even in the smallest sense. Nope.
But it's got 605 reviews,
Nope.
Mike.
There are people that are more masochistic than I am. And I would not. If they were standing outside and they're like, you want to just walk in and see? I'd be like, nope, I'm going to leave. Goodbye. Thank you. I don't want anything to do with this.
Dude. So, and what's crazy about this is this right here is a perfect example of if you do it, if you own a property in some sort of unique fashion, I think you can't force the haunted feature on a house, but I guess you could maybe theme it as haunted. The pictures at this place are atrocious.
Yeah.
The design of this place is atrocious, which I think plays into the haunted, like creepy vibe.
Yep.
And I think it does well.
I was going to say, I think that the photos are very fitting for the cabin or for the place. It's not a cabin.
Like what
Look at
is
that.
that?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. This is like opening up my brain though, because I'm like all these places in the gorge or in wherever right now that have horrendous photos, horrendous decorations, horrendous whatever. They don't need to change a daggone thing other than their angle, their approach.
Yeah.
If they're just like, oh, you're staying in, Grandma Cleo's cabin that hasn't been occupied in 25 years, like good luck,
Dude.
Also, it's $400 a night. Good luck. Dude,
Oh
look
my
at that.
gosh. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, I like that part of the design. This part I'm not as much fan of, like the flowers and the other stuff. But those like old photos, dude, that scares the crap out of me.
Yeah. Moxie, R.I.P. Well, why do we have R.I.P. in the...
Oh my gosh, dude.
I mean, the photos themselves are just crazy, but
This is very much bed and breakfast. Like
Hey,
this is
but
like
got-
like someone
got a
owns
pool.
this that's like 50. And not, I'm sorry, 50. That's been hosting for 50 years is what I meant to say.
Let's see if she has anything else. She got 2,200 reviews.
Oh my god.
Does she have other haunted places?
Just those 3.
Oh, just those 3 rooms. But look at that, dude. Look at
Yeah.
those reviews.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That is wild. But so from a guest perspective, I'm with you. I'll tell you this right now. I don't mess with ghosts. I don't
Yep.
mess with spirit. None of that stuff, right? I've seen it. I've heard enough stories. I've talked to enough people that have experienced this before.
Yep.
I don't do anything with it. You know what my biggest fear is?
Ghosts.
It was from a movie. Yeah. But from a movie. Do you remember the original Paranormal Activity? The first one. Did you ever see it?
Yes. I was thinking Final Destination, but I do remember Paranormal Activity.
Do you remember the scene where they're like, I think it's the girl or the mom or whatever's in the bed, and she gets dragged down the hall by something invisible? That is my fear right there. Like something dragging me down the hall that I can't see, but I can. Oh, dude.
Yep.
That messed me up.
Yep.
So bad. I watched the first
that
one.
whole
like,
movie got me. And it's the way that it builds up throughout the movie too. It's just like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Like yeah.
So that right, I'm right there with you. Like first thing I saw is like I knew my answer right away. No, there's no way. There's no way I'm staying here.
Yep. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was out when you said Parks Bowman Mansion. I didn't even have to read that it was haunted. I was like, a big bed and breakfast mansion style place. I was like, I'm not saying that. that just screams haunted. And then the next word, I'm like, see, told you. Validated.
So now let's switch gears from a host perspective.
Nope.
Let's say but hold on now. Hang with me. What if this place does 300,000 a year?
I have two angles to look at that. One is it's actually haunted, in which case I'm out. Not going to do it. The other is if it's not actually haunted, in which case I'm lying and I'm out. I'm not going to do it either.
Fair. It's true. Because I'm imagining what we did this last week because we went on site and did some work. It's like, oh, we got to go to the yellow dress girl's room, and we got to do a little bit of upkeep in the house, but it means we got to stay there. Like, dude, I'm right there with you. There are other investments out there that I could get a better return. I can get a good return on, maybe even less of a return. And you know the biggest thing that I can get with those properties? I can sleep at night.
Yeah, I was gonna say sleep.
Go to sleep at night, man.
Yep. Yeah,
oh,
dude. There's no way. There's no way I could do it from the ethics and morals of lying, or from the fact that I am haunted. I
think so. This one right here, like the mansion was amazing. There was so much history. Though we did not get to see the young lady in the yellow dress, we did enjoy all the other amenities of the home. Like this person was pumped to see no, thank you.
Nope.
Get me out.
Nope. So, okay. So I have one. Very different. Very different. I think it's going to be different in every sense. Or it might be equally as haunted. However, it would be a sleeping. I would definitely still think. It's not in the United States, so I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I'm going to hide the name for just a second because I'm excited for it. And I think this is just me being a child because I don't think it has anything to do with the actual place. But there is this in cave stone mountain type thing. I think it's in France. Whatever this is. However, it is a awesome looking place. Probably haunted because it's like 7 billion years old, right? There were like dinosaurs, and then this place was built, and then humans came. It looks absolutely awesome. I don't know what the name means.
You want me to rattle that one off, Mike?
I think
Sextantio.
Yes. It sounds very intriguing, to say the least. But it does not have anything to do with that. That's just me being a child. But it's this. It's like built into the side of a like mountain, like ancient civilization. It looks like. It reminds me of what's the place in Machu Picchu? Is that what it is? Like looking at this reminds me a little bit of like Machu Picchu or a place like that was just built in prehistoric times. But they've like renovated it and made these suites, these grottos. Dude. Yeah. So I guess from a guest perspective, from a host perspective, I feel like I could guess your guest perspective one, but I'm more so interested from a host perspective. What would you think about these places?
You want to start from a host perspective?
Yeah, start from. Well, tell me your guess. I feel like it'll be quick.
Honestly,
yeah.
I think it depends, and the reason I say it depends.
Tell me your guest perspective with no kids.
No kids?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I would stay.
Yep.
I would definitely stay because I think of it like I saw the outdoor space and the view, and I'm like, if you had someone there like serving like some like home cook authentic meal wherever this is, I don't know why it screams Italy to me. Like,
Yeah.
you have like a pot, dude. If there was like homemade pasta there, like a pizza, dude, I would stay in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I think it'd be one of those where I would stay once and I would be like, cool, I experienced it. That would be it, right? It wouldn't be like my yearly trip, but it would be one of those to say we stayed and experienced it. So as a guest, I would say yes. With kids, no.
Yep. I'm 100% with you there. No. So it's too much with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's now, cool, how about, isn't it? I thought it was really neat. I think this is interesting how they do. I
feel like I've seen them do like a documentary on the owner of this.
Oh, yeah?
I feel, because when you pull it up, I'm like, I feel like I've seen this before.
If I could,
I'll see right there, right in the middle. You see that right there? See that like candlelit dinner? No. Go down.
Yeah.
That right there. That's it. Yep. That is it for me.
Inglés. Breakfast 2 nights in a cave candlelit dinner, 13th century rock church. That's cool.
Oh, that is sweet.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It would definitely be a yes for me.
Yeah.
So, from a host perspective, though, do you mind if I go first on that one?
No, go for it. That's what I want to hear.
I would say yes as a host if this was my only property. If this was my only focus, I had no intentions of adding anywhere else, and I lived over there, I think it would be really fun. I think it would be a cool thing to really lean into the experience pieces and offering all of that. Yep. I don't know what it's like from an upkeep perspective, but if I'm here in Iowa and we have our properties in the gorge, and then you're like, hey Jordan, we're gonna buy this place, it's a no for me. Like, it's just there's too many ins and outs and unknowns with this, and it being in a different country, and I don't know what the upkeep is on something like this. Like, we've had some moisture challenges on some of our cabins, let alone like this. Like, maybe this thing is just like bulletproof and it's a non-issue. But
that's like part of what I'm looking at is like, I agree. Like if we're super far away and there's a bunch of issues, like I just feel like it's too historic to neglect like that. Like you would have to actually like be there and make sure it's doing well, or have like a bulletproof team, which I don't in Italy today. But that being said, it also looks indestructible. Like it's all made out of stone. I feel like it's like less fragile than the houses that we have. So part of me is looking at it and like, there's not much that you could do here, other than spill a drink that would be super catastrophic. So
how did you find this place?
I'm not going to tell you because I found like 20 to bring to our couple. I'm so pumped.
I'm just looking at this and I'm like, I don't know how you came across this. And and now I'm looking at it as like, I want to know where this is at. Is it? Yeah, I think it might be.
It is. It is. When Italy. I translated it to English, it changed the website to .it. Forgot where it was.
Oh, yeah.
South of Italy.
Oh my gosh, dude,
it's cool, right?
It is a for sure sign me up.
Yeah. If I could just Court and I go there, good. That would be amazing. I love Italy too.
I don't know if we'll ever get to this level, but if we do, Mike, I did make a connection a while back with a real estate investor who is from Italy.
Oh, nice.
And he told me, he said, if you ever want to invest, in Italy or do something over there, he's like, let me know. I have all the hookups for you. So
that's awesome.
It's not something we're going to do today by any stretch of the imagination, but down the road, that could be really cool.
Dude, I would love to invest in some other places once it's just 100% passive.
That's what I mean.
We
That's
focus
exactly
on
what
this and let somebody else focus on the porn ones. They've got a pretty good social. Oh, yeah. 9,000-year-old cave. Dude, they've done a good job with this.
Oh, hey, 87.6 thousand followers.
Yeah.
Here, I'll follow them on
this is just a good showcase of like things can exist that have almost 1 million followers in a unique reservation and we've never even heard of it before.
Exactly.
Right. And it's like when you think that like, oh, everybody's heard it or everybody's seen it, it's like you have no idea. So
this is incredible. Hey, real quick. Can I take a moment? Give us a round of applause. I think we crushed that segment. Two killer things,
right?
completely polar opposites.
I like the surprise. You know, we've only done the one that we actually like knew what the other person was going to do, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. It's cool to, and honestly, I like this because it even gives us, not that we'll pull ideas from any of these things, right? I'm not going to pull anything from the haunted house, but I think it allows you to, you know, sometimes you have such a exactly. That's what I was saying is we have such a tunnel vision, narrow focus sometimes on all the properties we see. And it's like, that is it. And what's crazy is we talk to people about those properties. Like, oh, do you know of this property? Do you know of Dunlap Hollow? Do you know of Brandywine Grove? And some people are like look at you like glazed eyes. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh my gosh. Like, and then you start seeing properties like, you start seeing properties like this place. It's like, I never knew this even existed. So
and there are things, I'll say there are things from each of these, even if it's just like angles, photography, you know, different hooks that they put in their Instagram, like stuff like that we could take and tweak to fit our stuff. So I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, this is cool. Thanks for sharing that, dude. Just
totally.
And not even for the podcast. I mean, just like selfishly, I'm digging this, dude.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's a teaser. Cool. If you guys aren't following on YouTube, you're not going to know what we're talking about. Sorry.
I was going to say, well, actually, hey, I don't know. I probably didn't tell you this, but we actually do share the video on Spotify.
That's right.
So now if you're on Apple Podcasts, sorry, you know, get off the dinosaur application over to Spotify or YouTube. Come on, guys.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, you're gonna want to check YouTube and Spotify for this episode. I think as we continue to do this segment, it's gonna get wild and crazy. And I guess for anyone that's listening, if you have any ideas, send us an email, shoot us a DM, whatever.
No, send me an email. I want to keep beating Jordan out on these.
Don't send it to Mike. Don't send it to Mike. I feel like he's just got a backlog of killer ideas, and I found this haunted one literally at like 10 a.m. today. So I got to step my game up and get a backlog because I think Mike's gonna start swinging for the fences with some of his. So
challenge accepted.
Oh my goodness. Well, perfect. Well, that does it. Another amazing episode of the Hideaway Show Behind the Curtain Edition. I'm Jordan Holmes. He's Mike Sebastian. Until next time, take care, everyone.